So look, we're watching Mr. Trump now.
Made in Japan. Toyota sells 1 million.
And we're talking tariffs. Joe, you would like me to finish my mouthful?
Tell them about tariffs and investing in the economy that you're selling to.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Yeah. So that's the point. So tariffs, of course, are taxes. When Trump says we'll give you 25% tariffs, we'll give you 50% tariffs, he's saying, if you sell something in my country, then we're going to take % of your profit and it's going to be invested back in my country. Because we're offering and now this is funny. It's not funny, but it's an interesting way to use the words human resources. Mostly people say human resources, meaning staff. But I'm offering, well, I'm not offering, I'm forcing.
You shouldn't really say forcing.
No, I probably shouldn't. No. So I'm telling you that human resources are not just staff, it's an economy. So an economy of buying public.
Yeah, that's it. So the public who are buying the goods, that's a human resource to the company selling.
That's what we're saying. And so you're going to have to invest in our economy. Now, it's the same for New Zealand. If you want to sell to my economy in New Zealand, our economy, of course, then you're going to pay a tariff. You're going to invest in our economy. You're not just going to come in, sell us something and take the money away. No, you're going to pay a little bit because of the human resource that you're accessing. And so there's something more to this, Joe.
Yeah, but you don't need to talk to me.
Right. So there's more to it, which is fostering said economy, meaning the economy that I talked about. Any economy, if you're going to sell to the economy, you don't just come in and, as Mr. Trump says, rape and pillage, just take what you want. Just there goes some people that want to buy some cars and use some oil. No, you foster the economy. What are you talking about, Mr. Prime Minister? If you can sell it for what you can sell it for, why don't you sell it? It's not fair. It's just not fair. No, that's the point. It is the point. You've got a human resource, and I know I'm using the words differently from what you're used to, but you have an economy, which is a human resource. You're coming in and you're selling and you're taking all this profit and you're spending it in your own economy. No, you're going to give us some of that money to the government, taxes, that's tariffs. And we're going to foster the economy with it so that you can continue to come in and sell in our economy. Thank you. Now, look, Joe, we need to have an addendum, don't we? Is it addendum?
Yeah, it is addendum for a lot of people because they'll hear this and they'll say, okay, so I can understand how going forward within an economy, that makes sense. I'm trying not to give it away. The human resource that's there, we're calling it that, the economy, is maintained by taxes that are paid to the government, and the government does the job of maintaining the economy.
So that's it. So, as Joe's saying, the money that we get from tariffs, just like any other tax, it goes to the government to spend in their budget to maintain the economy. And so you can't just come into a country, Joe, and access that economy and not foster it.
Yeah, the government has to pay for everything that it does to keep a country going. So you've got health, you've got roading, you've got education, and the whole budget. So that's where the taxes go in. When people hear that, they say, well, of course, that's why you charge tariffs, that's why you charge taxes.
And we foster, of course, by paying taxes. It's simple stuff. All right, Joe. So, we've got Donald on the line, on call waiting. How long has he been waiting? 10 seconds. Okay, so let's go. Donald,
Jamie.
how are you?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic, sir.
So,
Well, Donald, yeah.
it's great. Great to talk
Thank
to you.
you, and thank you for reaching out for this chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Wonderful to talk to you.
And great to talk to you too.
I'd like to congratulate you, sir, on the...
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and congratulations yourself.
The gains, the initiatives
Yes.
you've been developing and gaining serious ground on over the
We
last
absolutely
couple of months,
have.
and really since your inauguration.
Well,
And
thank
for
you.
me, Donald, you've been doing it since
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah, and
in my
we have,
opinion.
we have.
And 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely have, Jamie.
We love Joe and Kamala.
Absolutely.
But you were working.
We have.
2020
We've
to
been
2024,
we've been working
25.
hard.
And you haven't missed a beat, sir.
And it's America first.
So, well, that's it, Donald. That's my platform. Yeah. And so I will say for a moment, Māui
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Yes, and
That's my
wonderful.
platform. And there's a catchphrase
Okay.
that we use. What's good for me is good for you. Māui first.
Okay.
Here's my flag.
Yes.
It's in the sand. You're with me or you're against me.
I like it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So, I mean, that's... Could I be more clear?
Well,
So, Donald, let's dial into some of these
Yeah, let's-
initiatives.
let's do
Let's
that.
talk tariffs. Let's talk resolution of conflict.
Yes.
Let's talk
Yeah.
America first and
Yeah.
Maui first. Let's talk
Right.
England first. Let's
Right.
talk India first. Let's
Right.
talk Japan first. Let's
Right.
talk China first.
I agree.
Thank you. People don't understand, do they, Donald? They feel a sense of pugilistic approach. And I mean
Okay.
intellectual, dialectal,
Yeah.
pugilistic approach when we say
Right, yeah.
America first. But America first
does.
means China first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course it does. So, shall we dial into the issues, Donald?
Let's do it.
Now, Donald,
About fostering it.
and that's it. That's it, sir. I've said that an economy is to be fostered. So
about
if you're coming
fostering
in,
it.
thank you. If you're coming in to my economy, to New Zealand,
You're gonna.
to sell your goods, you're going to foster the economy.
That's it. You have to pay respect to the economy.
You can't just come into an economy
No,
and take.
no.
You have to
Absolutely.
give something.
Well, yeah.
And it's called taxes. Thank you.
Yeah, tariffs.
Yeah, thank you. And tariffs is another word for taxes. I know
Right.
it's nice to say tariffs
People get it.
because people get it exactly. They understand, okay, so this is something a little bit different from just average everyday taxes that a citizenry would pay. And this is what I like about the way you iterate things, where you say, look, if you're going to make your product in America and you're going to use American
That's it.
labor and American goods,
Yeah.
supply,
Supplying
to
it.
manufacture, well, then you're not going to have to pay the tariff, are you?
No.
No, of course.
So Donald and I spoke further, and we'll bring you the rest of our chat next time on Māui News.
So, Maui, what are you up to?
Yeah, so I'm catching up on YouTube news.
Right, so scrolling through YouTube timeline.
Yeah, just a second, Joe.
Tells you what to make video.
Do you want to maybe silence the volume and we'll have a chat?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay.
That's better.
Yeah, no, just a second. So you're catching up on Trump's chat there at the Air Force One gaggle, and Trump speaks to reporters after the stock market decline. He's talking about tariffs, and he's talking about Gaza and the Ukraine.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just wondering, would you like to do a gaggle at your door?
Why not? Yeah.
Right, let's go.
Maui first! Maui first! Maui first! Maui first!
Prime Minister!
Thank you! Yes, I saw Mr. Trump there. With his gavel. It was fantastic. I'm a simple man. Yeah. Put down the gun and talk. Tariffs. Yeah. Old news.
Old news. Make it in New Zealand. Make it in America. Make it in China. And the tariffs don't apply. Of course.
Tariffs.
If not, you're going to invest in our economies. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Come on.
And that's happened to America.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
over the
terrible.
last 30 years.
Yeah.
It has, you know. The 80s was prosperous.
Yeah, it
and
was.
you yourself had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, thank you.
And a lot
Yeah,
of people.
yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah. And
that's been the problem.
things just got terrible with free trade agreements. And, you know, that
there you go.
really was the diabolical swing sword.
Yeah, and so we're gonna do something about that, Jamie.
Yeah. And so conflict
Yeah, there you
is
go.
very simple. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Can
you
we
know.
grow up?
Dialogue.
Yeah.
And you know from growing up the way you grew up.
Yeah, well, I did. You know, in growing
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
the way that I grew up,
Rough.
I understood dialogue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
you're not just some kids fighting over candy. No.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's
a
it. You
little
have to
bit
sit
more
down
than that.
and talk about it.
And you have to sit down. Yeah, you do have sit
Right.
downs. And you talk.
Right, that's what
Yeah,
we're doing.
So,
Well, it's great to talk to you about that.
yeah, so it's wonderful.
It is.
To
It
talk
is.
to you about these things.
So let's talk again.
We will. We'll leave it there and we'll talk again, Donald.
All right, so look, we're here on Vulcan Lane, and I'm thinking about getting a kebab. Joe, I'm a bit worried, to be honest.
What are you worried about, Maui?
Well, we've done the gaggle. We've done a lot of press last week, which was a lot of fun. And I'm feeling very confident as PM.
Right.
But I just feel we're not moving fast enough, Joe.
Yeah, Maui, you can't build Rome in a day. And,
Okay.
yeah. And so, shall we take our time and think about some of the other policies that we wanted to get across the line?
Yeah, that sounds good. It's great to be back in Auckland, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is, Maui. No, it's fantastic.
Right, so look, we went for McDonald's. It's so good to be back in Auckland. Joe, we're here on a side street, aren't we? Off Elliott Street, which is close to Queen Street, just there. Hello. So this is your Prime Minister. I told you I'm here to clean the country up. I'd like to clean the country up if that's okay. Good morning. So look, we're in sleepy Devonport. We've come to the cafe for coffee. We're outside the line and waiting for it to open. It opens at 9 o'clock. You weren't recording. Exactly what are you doing?
Yeah, it's because people were going past and so we didn't want them on camera. But I wanted you to practice. Yeah, Maui, we're here to talk policy. So if you want to give your platform on law and order.
Total police surveillance. People say invasion of privacy. It's a computer. How else are you going to get people who are willing to do the kinds of things that quite simply require that kind of surveillance to pick it up? Do you understand? We're talking about the privacy capabilities where the law can't get in and watch and hear. Don't know. AI picks up, they're talking about this. You understand? We see the organization happening. It then comes to the attention of people, police, and then it's scrutinized and looked at. What's wrong with that? Invasion of privacy, Prime Minister. It's a computer. You're not going to be looked at by a human unless you're a criminal. Alright, so Joe, we're here in the backpacks, and we're thinking about going to the library. Terry would like to go. I'd like to go. Joe, I'd like to get moving, if that's okay.
Oh, just like, no, Maui, Rome,
Yeah, it's true that we do have to wait for certain people to catch up, don't we?
Yeah, Maui, you're talking about politicians around the world catching up on your platforms.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about law and order. We've talked about the economy, essentially. Well, I mean, we haven't really, have we?
No, Māui, we haven't talked about the economy. We've talked about tariffs and budgets.
Macro, okay. Joe, we need to deal with trade imbalances. Now, I know you know what this is all about. It all comes down to economies being what Mr. Trump calls raped and pillaged. Now, what does that mean?
Māui, are you going to get into this now?
Well, why not?
Well, let's go to the library.
I suppose we can.
Yeah, Māui, we will. We'll go to the library, I think. We need to basically situate ourselves somewhere else. It's optics, and it's also because of your mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to be in a quiet location
I mean,
so that we can iterate our platforms. And we'll do it slowly, mate. People are going to say online, you know.
yeah.
You've got online here.
Well, I would like to, I've always gone to the library. If you need to know something, it's right there.
You know, it's good you iterate that because I know how you feel.
Joe, I'm feeling fine. Yeah.
There's certain things, Joe.
Yeah, there are certain things that we can get at the library, but it's optics.
Yes, optics. I mean, we can get anywhere. People don't use the library.
Yeah, well, that's my point. That's my point. Okay, but let's eat something first. You need to eat, Mark.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You're forgetting some of the things that you need to do to maintain your progression health-wise.
So look, we're watching Mr. Trump now. I'd like to congratulate you, sir.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations yourself.
Molly first! Molly first! Molly first!
Well, I'm here to clean the country up.
So I'm coming over. Yeah, I'm coming over next week. Okay? I see you next week.
First of all, thank you, Terry. Thank you, Joe. Well, we had a good day at the library yesterday, and it inspired me, actually. Now, it's not new, but I'll say you know how I do. A new slogan, something I'd like to get out there in the world. Make Earth great again.
So, Māui, you're catching up on Mr. Trump's meeting with the Italian PM, Giorgia Meloni. And they're talking, make Europe great again. Ukraine and Russia, saving lives. So, I'd like to ask you, please, Māui, about Ukraine.
Right, yeah, I'm for it. I'm all for
Yeah, no, we'll set up the shop.
Hold on, let's put in front.
Yeah, so, Joe, thank you for the question. Nuclear weaponry. So, look, I'm a little bit different. Once you hear what I have to say, Joe, and you out there, the public, I think you'll agree with me. You have governmental, what we call the New Zealand legislation. Then you have nuclear weaponry. The legislation actually welds the weaponry, uses, controls. So you have the weaponry because you got to make sure that people who have the weaponry don't get to be the only people having the weaponry. A gun doesn't shoot itself. Yeah, no, look, I've got some time. Yeah.
Well, Māui, I mean, you work, don't you? Yeah, so, look, I'm here for a couple of days, and I'd love to talk about this. I'm going to come back soon. I'm going to ask you a hard-hitting question, Māui. A very hard-hitting question.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Ukraine, Russia, who do you hold responsible?
Zelensky?
Right. Do you want to explain that?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm not a fan of the guy. Yeah, so I look at his uniform and I look at his face. I listen to his words. I try to work out his case. And I say, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, so Joe.
At the camera, if that's, I mean, at me, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So, Joe, you didn't understand confidence.
Well, no, look, I understood it, but for the people, if you don't know, explain.
Yeah, sure. So, confidence.
No, at me, Māui.
We have very little inflation. I would say we have essentially no inflation. Hard to have inflation when oil goes down.
So that's the comment that I want to dial into. Can you explain that?
Oil comes down. Yeah.
Yeah, can you explain that? Oil comes down and you don't have inflation.
Yeah, sure. Oil comes down and the cost of productive process is less. So confidence increases. That's basically the whole thing. So, Joe, confidence when it comes to markets is all about people's confidence. No, I'm joking. And it's the truth, Joe. Inflation is determined by confidence and supply. Now, I'm using...
Hold on. Confidence and supply is about legislation as well.
That's right, Joe. I'm using those words on purpose, but they are apropos. Can we talk about what I'm talking about?
Yep, go ahead, mate.
Supply, of course, is in the marketplace. We talked about avocados. If the supply is not there, then there'll be an inflation in price. And people say, well, that's a seasonal inflation. No, it keeps going. Look at the price of sand juice.
Excuse me?
Well, I'm using it as an example, Joe. Look at the price of everything, how it's gone up. That's called inflation.
Right, yeah, no, look, I understand, but you're being a little bit cryptic.
Not really.
Just explain how supply and confidence work together to increase prices over time.
Sure. In a marketplace, if incrementally you can raise your prices because supply is not there, over time you can maintain a price raise.
Right.
Yeah, so Joe, I mean, are you asking why does inflation happen?
Yeah, essentially, Māui, I'm asking you to iterate for the people why inflation happens. You said inflation doesn't have to happen.
Right, yeah, no, it doesn't. No, not at all. Okay, yeah, so incrementally over, years, so we're talking decades so that you can understand it. Inflation happens because of incremental price fluctuation.
This is a paid spot for Māui First.
Here's my flag. It's in the sand. You're with me or you're against me. This is your Prime Minister Māui. I wanted to say a big hello to the people of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Hello. You know me by now. I want to clean up the country. Let's clean it up together.
Yeah, no, I'm ready, yeah.
So, Māui, Trump's talking to the Norwegian PM about a few things there in the Oval Office, and you're catching up on it.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk, of course, about the Ukraine and Russia. What's being said is it's complicated. I don't think so.
Well, hold on, Māui. You say you don't think so. You're going to have to iterate what you mean there. Tell us what you mean there.
Sure.
When they say it's complicated and you say, I don't think so.
Complicated is about sovereignty. We talked about that.
Yeah.
What I mean is, you have Crimea, which was annexed by Russia, and the Ukraine took issue with that. They say it's complicated. It's as complicated as sovereignty is. Now, if you've got terrorists and you've got absolute pieces of defecation who need to be wiped out, yeah, fine. But I don't subscribe to picking up the weapons to settle a sovereignty conflict. It's bullshit.
Housing is doing very well. smart thing to do. Be ahead a little bit, although already it's a little bit late.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, so Maui, it's a little bit late, Trump says. Lowering interest rates, following the Fed. What's that mean?
That's pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah, that's pressure. So what Trump's saying is, what I've done with tariffs is not a problem. The market needs to come to normalcy, and it's starting to be a little bit late. So it's pressure. Yeah, no, it's pressure. He's not wrong.
This is Joe King. So, in the last video, I said following the Fed. I meant we're following the Fed, the Federal Reserve, and Prime Minister Māui wanted me also to say that with regard to pressure and Trump, and a little bit late, it'll set in, the effects of high interest rates will set in, and that's two things. That's confidence and obviously higher costs to borrow money, and that starts to set in as a recessive movement. It can turn into a recessive movement. Thank you.
Today on Maui News, we have an exclusive, the ousting of the Joe King. So we've got a video recording to play you. Thank you.
No, Joe. No,
Maui.
no, you don't know what you're talking about.
I
You know,
do.
Obviously, yeah.
What?
You know it is obvious, Joe.
What's
Following
obvious?
The Fed. Yeah.
We're following the Fed.
No, I heard the disclaimer, and you lied.
I didn't lie.
No,
What are
you
What are you talking about? It's
you're covering it up.
No, it's the edit.
Trying to
No.
cover it up.
What are you-
It's ignorance, Joe.
Excuse me.
You're following. We're following. You said we too. So you're
Ah.
down.
Maui,